Welcome everyone to Tuesday Newsday. I'm not muted on my YouTube, so let me do that. Okay, there we go. Um, Welcome to the show and the Echo. It's great to have you guys back this week. We're doing something a little different. So a nice overlay from Tyler. And Tyler, I see the screen now and love that your like signature to every live stream is having the vocal bars that go and dance whenever we talk. So love that. Thank you to Tyler. He's off screen right now, just running tech for us. And I've got a great crew with me today. So I've got art director Brent Evans. Hi.
Hello, everybody.
I've got RPG director Jason Hardy. Hi.
How's it going?
And I've got one of the devs for Voltron, and gotta shout him out. Opti was the lead on setting up the Voltron Kickstarter for my company, for Rem Productions. So thank you, Opti, and hi.
Hello, everyone.
I gotta say this before we get started here, that Lauren Coleman himself keeps complimenting how good the campaign looks. And so he doesn't give compliments very often. So I got to give all that credit to Opti and Tyler for their work. So
and Tyler is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence.
Well,
a compliment for the campaign. Yes, I'm glad that you guys are getting it.
Awesome. Well, before we get into, we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to do an AMA, and this stream is actually live also on our Kickstarter page. So hi, thanks for joining us. If you've backed the Kickstarter, thank you. And if you're watching us from there, if you click on the YouTube link, you can join us in chat and ask questions, because we're going to spend most of this show answering your questions about Voltron, licensing, working on a product from a beloved 80s show, artwork, writing, anything you guys want to know, running a Kickstarter, anything you guys want to know about this whole crazy process, we're here for you. But before we do that, I want to get to our quick news, which is the Black Friday sale is still going on. It's doing really well, so thank you guys for that. If I remember correctly, so we have under the sale collection items, a whole bunch of items that are on clearance anyway. But in addition to that, we've added 50% off of, for Battletech, it's Clan Invasion box set. And it's the newly released on our store, Battletech Essentials box set. For Shadowrun, it's Sixth World Companion, Shadowrun Anarchy, and Shadowrun Edge Zone, the card game that came out about a year and a half ago. And then for board games, we have Seasons of Arcadia and Centurion. Centurion is the expansion to the Duke, which is pretty damn popular. So you can play it with the Duke or separate. So all the tiles are compatible. And Seasons of Arcadia is a really fun holiday game. You play the Fairy Lords of Winter vying for control of the seasons of the year. It's kind of like a Chinese checkers strategy-esque, very simple, but deep levels of strategy there. So, and then finally for fiction, we have I always mess up the names of these because they're the trilogy names, not the book names. I want to say it's oh God, I'm going to go, where is it? It is the Legend of the Jade Phoenix trilogy in hardcover, and the Shadowrun Secrets of Power trilogy in hardcover. So lots of good fiction, lots of good sales. So check that out. The last day to ship, and pretty sure you'd get it by Christmas, is December 15th. But the earlier the better. So make sure you get your stuff in by then. Then later this week is PAX Unplugged. I couldn't get a lot of the people that I wanted on this call because they're on their way to PAX Unplugged. Randall is on a plane right now, and Mike Ritchie, who is the board game developer for the Voltron board game, he's headed to Philadelphia right now, so couldn't get them, unfortunately. But PAX Unplugged is going to be, even if you can't make it in person, we are going to be right here on our YouTube channel for all 3 days, doing announcements and actual plays and all kinds of stuff. So The first stream for Friday is already on YouTube, so you can follow that so that you get notified when we launch. And I'll be getting Saturdays and Sundays up soon. So lots of announcements coming. We're pretty excited. Whew.
Great job.
Did I miss
You
anything?
did good. That was a good intro.
Okay. I'm like trying to remember because it's been a little bit of a blur the past 2 days. So, well, let's switch over to you guys. So please, if you are in the chat, go ahead and send in questions. I'll be looking at the chat more actively today than usual so that I can feed the guys questions here. But I want to start with just how did this come to be? Jason, do you know, like, how did NBC Universal approach us, or how did we approach them to start with this licensing thing?
The start of that, as far as I know, is lost in the midst of time. It just was a discussion, and we are always looking for interesting properties to license, and Voltron very much qualifies as an interesting property because it is really suited, I think, to a role-playing game. And it's just got such a great theme to it where you can play these disparate characters and they can be individuals and they can be at each other's throats sometimes and fight and then come together still and have awesome power and defend the universe.
Awesome.
And there's nothing cooler than being a huge robot with a flaming sword.
So being the project lead on this for the RPG division, like what goes into a project like this? How do you find the writers? How do you think through the project? How do you get this from a concept or an idea or a pitch all the way to having this book ready to come out?
So it helped that we're using our Dice Core rule system. So that's our in-house set of rules that we've developed. And so it's good that we know what generally we want the rules to be. So then the work is, what do we need to do to custom fit the rules for this property? What needs to be different? For Voltron, obviously one of the big differences is how are you going to make Voltron work as opposed to just individual characters? How is it going to feel different? How are you going to escalate the power so that when they are Voltron, they feel like they can do some awesome stuff that they couldn't do alone? And I think the actual play, especially because your dice rolling was on point. You showed the power of Voltron when you formed, and you were able to do some massive stuff and break some things real good.
Yeah. Having gotten to play from, I think it was the QSR the quick start rules that we played from, being able to see, like, here's what you can do as your character, here's what you can do within your lion, and here's what you can do as Voltron. So lots of options for whatever your situation is.
One of the mechanics that I had to develop as I was working on it was, how are you going to determine how Voltron forms? Because, it's always a work, and when you watch Voltron, they don't always succeed when they want to form Voltron. Sometimes their team chemistry is off, so something goes wrong. So how could we reflect that in the rules? Especially, how could you reflect how the teamwork is going, how well they're supporting each other and all that, or if they had difficulties, did they find a way to overcome them, and reflect that so that they get those benefits for working well together as a team right within the rules. And that was a fun thing to work on. And so then writing, it's one of the benefits of having worked in Shadowrun for so long is I have a vast contact list of writers I know and trust. So I reach out to the writers I know and trust first and see who's available and who's interested. And thankfully, some of the really good writers I know and trust were interested and signed up. So I apportioned out words to the people who were interested and in the eras that they wanted to be working on. And they start crunching away. And then I look forward to reading them and correcting all their commas.
I'm sorry, I'm just enjoying Jason. And I portioned out words. This is front of the house, Jason. I'm so used to back of the house, Jason. He's doing good. He's like all professional and stuff. Sounds really good, man.
I'm professional all the time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Her question was like, hey, how did this all come about that we got like the license stuff? I totally remember that. It's cute that you polished it all into being all nice and shiny. Oh, that was lost in the annals of time. Like I
That's
totally
because I
remember.
wasn't in those discussions as much. I was just doing my Shadowrun thing at the time. So I
You
was
were
like,
very
you all
distracted
figure
with
out the
Shadowrun.
license and stuff.
Yeah, the rest of us caught wind that like we're always reaching out to try to find out which licenses are available, what we do. When we behind the scenes heard we might have a shot at getting a license for Voltron, we were like climbing over each other and like, oh, do the Voltron, because like as things always are in game companies, people that are passionate about it always end up producing something cooler than people that are not just doing something to check off a box and turn it in and go on to the next thing. Now we were all like, well, as soon as we heard Voltron, we're like, oh, please, we could have so much fun creating cool games for Voltron. So yeah,
Brent, kind of switching the focus to you and what you do. So you're the Catalyst art director, and then we have Matt here, who's the RPG art director, right?
Matt here is layout.
Oh, his layout. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought he was
Layout
like
and design,
doing all
not
the
art.
thing.
I'm the art director for all Catalyst lines. Everything.
So what's been like, since you got pulled into the project, what's been your like thought strategy? Like, how did you approach doing something like this and working with NBC?
That's a good question. Thankfully, Jason and Mike have been the leads of connecting with NBC and stuff. So for me, it was always about how do we make this as cool visually as we possibly can? What can we do to really double it down? Because like with these awesome properties from the 80s and 90s, a lot of times it was amazing at the time, but if you go back in time and look at it, the files, the image files and things for them, they may be degraded, they may have bad rasterization, that may all kinds of stuff that just like that was cooler in my head, but now that I look at it, didn't age as well. But Voltron didn't. We went back and like Voltron looked amazing. We're like, okay, how do we make sure that we keep the cool, awesome feel of the original, but then make sure that we are packaging and presenting it in a way that not only feels authentic to the classic, but also feels like it's right at home along shelves, in 2024, 25. So yeah, that was the biggest balance. And of course, then my thing as the lead art director is finding visual artists that have a deep love of Voltron, so that I know that whoever I entrust with the keys to the castle actually will treat it properly. And this one was remarkably beneficial in so many ways because there's no shortage of fans of Voltron.
So do you have to, as you get these artists that are working on it, what's the process for like, does NBC have to approve the art? Does like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's time consuming to not only create, but then get it up the approval ladder and then back down to the artist for feedback and everything like that.
Yeah, all of us that work in the visuals, just like the writers' side, the writers they'll come up with the content. And they of course have to submit it for approval, and that'll come back. And there's a back and forth, and that back and forth can either be a really really good thing or it can be a detriment. It doesn't have to be one or the other. So, candidly, to toot our own horn, Catalyst is extremely good at licensed properties. We are very good about making sure that we give respect to where it came from to the classic fan base, and go with that passion moving forward and stuff. So for me as the art director, it was not just ensuring I had artists that were passionate about it, but that kind of matched the creative vision. Thankfully, that back and forth with them has been very, very positive. And it helps those of us that have been in the industry for a while. We know how that goes. Back and forth is normal. Back and forth 1,000 times with somebody who can't make a decision, that's where something gets hard. But we expect a certain degree of back and forth. And honestly, they've been great about making decisions. Here's clearly the way we want to go. No, let's steer away from this. Let's go focus on this. So yeah, so far the working relationship back and forth with NBC Universal has been really excellent, to my opinion.
Yeah, if I could jump in for a second, Brent
Please.
said that Mike and I have been in the meetings with NBC Universal. So I was there when they saw some of the first pieces that the artists have created and that Brent supervised, and it went well. As soon as they saw them, they were like, okay, well, we have to present them to franchise, but wow, that's really on it. And so, yeah, they managed to create some art that very much captures what Voltron should feel like. It's really good.
Awesome. Okay, so Opti, I want to circle over to you. So we've kind of seen the high level of how these relationships have worked. How did you get involved? What are you doing for it? Talk to us.
Well, I like Jason a lot. And once upon a time, he reached out to the freelancer team that he was a part of, or that he had developed over the years, I guess. And although he's no longer the line developer for Shadowrun, he still has a lot of those contacts, and I did a lot of writing for him in Shadowrun 5th edition. And so he put out the call, like, hey, do you guys want to do this? And like he said, a lot of the best writers that he knew hopped on that project. And I did not. And so once all the spots filled up for writing on Voltron with all the good writers, a little while ago, once I started doing some marketing and Kickstarter development for this project, Jason said, hey, do you remember Voltron? I heard that you like Voltron. And I was like, yeah, I like Voltron. And he said, well, and I quote, all of the good writers are have done their thing, and one of the good writers had to drop out, so I'm left with no other good writers. Would you like to help fill in? And so I said word for word, verbatim, stammering words and everything. So essentially that's more or less how it happened. Is I was on the project working with Rem and doing the marketing and the Kickstarter stuff, and a spot opened up for the Legendary Defender version, and that the chapter I'm working on is sort of intro to the setting and gives you sort of what you need to know in order to play in that universe and play as a paladin. So I have loved Voltron for ages untold. I mean, like I just grew up loving Voltron. I have a story about that if you'd like to hear it, but
please.
Okay. Well, it's not a good one, but it is a story.
Oh no!
Please tell me.
I'm led with that part.
Halloween.
Well, no. So I was one of those kids who had a Voltron. Or actually, that's not even true. I didn't have a Voltron. I had a few of the Lions because when you were growing up in the 80s, like the toys from Japan were not easy to get. But I had this friend who showed up one day at school with this like robot thing, like that looked like lion. I was like, what is this? This is amazing. And he would take it apart and put it together, and it was like this transformer, but it was way cooler than any transformer I had ever seen. So I immediately went back home and was like, where do you find this? Like, how do you even get a hold of this? And he gave me this, gosh, I don't even remember where it came from, but it was like this sort of back of the magazine advertisement from some magazine, and it had a bunch of these different Godaken robots on them, and I was like, oh my gosh, how do I get this? So I showed my mom, like, this is what I need all of these for Christmas. And she, bless her heart, she just probably ran herself ragged trying to find literally anything, not knowing that these are Japanese toys. You could just not go to the store and grab them. But I did manage to get a few of the Lions that Christmas. Nevertheless, I just fell in love with all of that sort of Japanese robotic defender type stuff, to the point where, and this is the point of the story, to the point where people of my generation and younger often really, really love Power Rangers. But when Power Rangers came out, I was so angry that there was no more Voltron on TV, and that this Power Rangers thing seemed to be just a clone of my beloved Voltron, that I refused to participate in any of this Power Rangers nonsense. And instead, I just kept that flame burning in my heart for Voltron. And so when the Legendary Defender series came out, I just fell in love with it. And I loved everything about it, of course, from a lot of the same creators of some of the better cartoons that have come out in the last decade and a half. So yeah, that's me. That's a weird story about why I hate Power Rangers.
Amazing. Well, we've got a couple of questions that have come in chat, so let's start there. The Batman asks, I think this one's for Jason. how fast can you guys get backers a beta PDF of either book after the project closes? I'm chomping at the bit for this.
I don't want to say specific timelines, but fairly quickly, I would say first quarter of next year, if all goes well.
Cool. I will say caveat here, because I have lots of fears about letting my beloved coworkers live on the internet, is that they say things with the best intentions, and then when fulfillment actually happens, things can go wrong, and it doesn't always work that way. So while that is our best
intention, I have so much
right
already
now,
written. I've got the rules written. I've got lots of supporting text written. So I would not be saying that if I didn't have a lot of stuff in hand.
Cool. Take it with a grain of salt, though, please.
Well, and the QSR is up. You know what I mean? So like the rules themselves are well in hand.
Yeah, it helps when you start with a solid proven system.
You start with what?
A solid proven system, something you've already played tested, you've worked out the kinks, you know it's solid. Then it's more a matter of what tweaks need to happen to customize it toward whatever property that feels authentic.
Yeah. Bovi asks, question for Brent. On a scale of 1 to killing coach's linebacker, how excited are you for all the BattleTech things coming soon?
Yeah, I'm so excited for the BattleTech things to finally be out and in people's clutches and playing on tables. I'm super excited for that. So yeah, very excited for it. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to what comes next. There's going to be cool diabolical things.
I hope I know there's lots to talk about at PAX, but I'm excited for some of that to finally get talked about.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that I've seen some of the stuff coming after the Mercenaries Kickstarter, but I've seen some of the stuff coming after, and get hyped.
It's good stuff. Another question from the Batman. Will the game rules have more of a narrative feel or tactical? I'm hoping it isn't too rules heavy, but has a bit of depth.
Yeah, and that's exactly where Dice Core is aiming. Is we've been calling it a medium weight system, so it does support a more narrative leaning. It's not fully tactical. If you look at how, especially vehicle combat works, it's generally not about measuring distances and speeds and everything, but there is still weight to the tactics, especially because Dice Core rewards your decision making in the moment. So if you make a good tactical decision, then you can immediately get a dice upgrade and roll a higher die than you were, so that you can, as you improve your tactics and get in a better situation, you can have benefit from it without having to get too bogged down into lots of modifiers and many dice rolls and everything, so it can still move pretty quickly.
Cool. Tell us more about the lore side of that while I try to find the link to the live play.
The lore side of that?
Like, oh, geez, there's more sound. Okay. The like more narrative feel of the rules.
Yeah, so we really want, Voltron is at its heart about, a big robot with a blazing sword, but it's also great stories, and that's each series has lots of episodes and lots of tales to tell, and we don't want to get in the way of the story that you want to tell. So we want things to keep moving along as you play. I don't want, if you're trying to take down an enemy small station that's on a meteor, or not asteroid, as the quick start rules have, I don't want that to be like the full session or a multiple session thing. I want that to go quickly so that you can have the big moment and then move on to the next moment, so you can keep having all the excitement.
Awesome. And I just dropped in chat the link to the actual play, so you can check out how it was for us to play, how narrative it feels, versus how crunchy the rule system is. So
yeah, and how beneficial it is to roll the maximum values on your dice. That's my tip to you. You got a 12-sided die. Roll a 12. It helps.
The Batman also asks, can you play iconic characters from the shows and make your own characters?
Yes, that will absolutely be the goal. We will have the pre-generated characters in the book for some of the characters in the show. You'll see that in the QSR, that for Legendary Defender, we have the main 5 core characters statted out. But we will also have character creation rules so that you can make your own characters, whether they be paladins or otherwise, whatever you want to play, you can have a way to play it. So you can do it both ways.
Awesome.
That was a long answer from where I could have just said yes, but whatever.
I love it.
You did
I
great.
love the questions with Batman too. Thank you. So, what else do I have? My chat disconnected and reloaded, so I'm searching for it again.
Can I just pass along a compliment? The video for this campaign is so good.
Tyler
Did that.
To get Tyler over and over.
Tyler, like, so Tyler's been kind of dabbling with some of our intro videos for a time now, and he seems to really enjoy it. And like sometimes there's feedback, but this time Opti and I were on a call with Tyler when he was just playing it for us, and I was like, I have no notes. Like this is it.
Yeah.
And if you don't recognize the voice in it, it is Jay Foster, who is the guy from Swole Initiative. So you should follow him if you're not already. But a gamer, fitness guy, and he's super cool and super sweet. He's Welsh. But speaking of the videos, Tyler, are we ready to show them?
Oh, yeah. So heads up. Tyler played this for me when we were just like hanging out doing like co-working the other day, and he didn't warn me, and it just blasted. I think I pooped my pants a little bit.
So everyone adjust your headset accordingly. But Tyler, go ahead. Let's play our 2 videos.
When threats emerge in the universe. When the galaxy needs your help. You can form the Mighty Voltron. 5 brave fighters and their powerful lions join together to defend the universe. The greatest hope of the universe is coming to a role-playing game made by Catalyst Game Labs. The dice core system used in Voltron, the role-playing game, is easy to learn and use while providing great depth of play. As you roll a pool of 3 dice determined by your skills and attributes, your decisions and circumstances can make those dice better or worse, so what you choose can have an instant impact. Back now and join the fight to defend the universe. When conquerors approach and the danger is high, you have to come together as paladins and work as a team, and you have to be ready to be part of the universe's most legendary defender. Then, when the universe needs you, you can form the Mighty Voltron. The greatest hope of the universe is coming to a role-playing game made by Catalyst Game Labs. The dice core system used in Voltron, the role-playing game, is easy to learn and use while providing great depth of play. As you roll a pool of 3 dice determined by your skills and attributes, your decisions and circumstances can make those dice better or worse, so what you choose can have an instant impact. Back now and join the fight to defend the universe.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for playing that, Tyler. Thank you, Brent, for calling that out, because it's so cool.
It is.
Little fun fact, because one of the reasons that I try to bring on you guys for like interviews and have Tuesday Newsday and stuff like that is so that you guys get to know some of the personalities behind Catalyst. And little sneak peek behind the scenes, if you compliment Tyler, he breaks. So Tyler, it is so good. Thank you so much. You rocked it. You did so good. I know you're in the fetal position right now as I'm saying all this.
Your skill and talent brought us to the next level.
Will it help if we knock you down a little? I mean, you're not quite at Jason Hardy level, but you're good. You did good.
I mean, why
you
are
don't have
we
to worry about
asking for people
that,
to do
Brent.
that?
He runs the Mercenaries Kickstarter. He gets that already.
He's already been broken. He's just barely holding it together.
Okay, cool. Well, let's go back to questions. Let's see. Serious question from Turbo Turtle. Is there
Hey,
supposed to be one Voltron in the galaxy, or are there supposed to be multiple Voltrons spread out across the universe? Just one.
There's a lance of them.
I
There's
mean,
a
I'm not-
lance of Voltrons.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to interject a little BattleTech in there. Just felt more.
I'm not going to tell people exactly how to play their game, and so there are plot lines that you can open up, that you can do some things. You know, maybe someone's trying to make a duplicate Voltron, and I'm not going to stop you from doing that. But generally speaking, in the canon material, we'll be sticking with one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Was that a question of Voltron lore or for the
I
the
think
RPG
Voltron
that
lore.
we're doing? Because I mean, if what they're asking is like, are there multiple versions of Voltron? The answer is kind of yeah, but
Yeah,
Go
they're-
on, Opti.
they're different licenses too, so it's so odd.
Cool. All right. So what else do we got here?
Vehicle Voltron, Jason.
Yeah, vehicle
Will- will-
Voltron.
Oh, vehicle
Everybody keeps
Voltron.
asking about Vehicle Voltron.
Why not, Jason?
Because I mean, so as someone who's worked on Shadowrun for a long time, I am used to licenses being confusing and fragmented and all over the place, and that apparently is the case with Voltron. So we were able to get Defender of the Universe and Legendary Defender. I don't know who has the vehicle Voltron rights. I don't know if they're willing to let us do anything. It's a gray area. It's lost in the midst of whatever. So I don't have the power to do vehicle Voltron. If we can reach out to someone, and maybe the franchise people know, maybe NBC Universal knows, I don't know. But if we can find the people who have the rights and say, look, we did this version, you should let us do that, a new version, great.
Yeah,
But
I think
right
once
now
they
I
see
don't
the
have the
glory
rights to
that
do
is
it.
yours, I think that they'll say, you know what, we need one of those. That's
Yeah, if
So-
we decide to do that, that's great. But
Yeah.
also with my experience with Shadowrun, sometimes you can present someone with something that seems really obvious and would be a really good thing to do with the property, and they'll still be like, we'd rather not.
I hear that Gladiator Voltron's not doing much recently either.
Let me get out what I'm working on, then we'll see what else we can do.
Eat your broccoli first, and then you can have vehicles and Gladiator Voltron. Awesome. BattleTech question from Mad Cat. Updates on BattleTech releases for December. There's only one, and it's McCarran's, and it's supposed to street December 11th for the BNN exclusive. And yeah, you can apparently order it now. So I just work here, guys. I don't
well,
know.
we also had what was the big seller over the Thanksgiving weekend? It was the latest.
Hinterlands
Yeah,
came
it
out
was
in November.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that
How
counts.
about
Ram,
Hinterlands?
how is it, Ram, that you have not managed to control all distribution and retail networks yet? You've been working here for like a year.
I don't
How
wanna
haven't you managed to clench
know
your iron
PSI
fist
any
over
better
the
than I
entire
already do.
gaming industry somehow?
Don't mock her for dodging bullets that she was too smart to fall on. Come on.
No, she was right, kids. We can't control the shipping costs of our products. We can bear so there's so much outside of our control.
all I can do is communicate. What other entities do with the words that I give them is unfortunately out of my control.
Yeah. We each have our roles at Catalyst. I and my team make it look good. Jason and his teams make it sound good. Rem tells people about it. Like, we all got our roles.
Yeah.
And then we
yeah.
all wonder how Amazon comes up with the release dates that they sometimes put on stuff.
We all do every
No.
time.
It's a mystery. Some abacus somewhere, they just slide beads around like, oh, here, it's coming out then. We don't know why they came up
I'm
with
gonna
it.
have you two on more often.
Yeah, I lost count the first couple of years that we were working together and stuff. You're like, when's it coming out? I don't know. And then people like text us, oh, it came out now. Like, okay,
Yeah.
now we know. That's we're broken. We don't know. We have no idea. We just work here.
My mom taught me if I can't say something nice, I shouldn't say anything at all.
That's funny. My dad said if you can't say something nice, say something sarcastic and it'll make
Yeah.
everybody laugh.
That's my upbringing.
Awesome. Grom asked, will there be mass battle rules like when in the series Voltron has to face down whole fleets of Galra?
So there are rules for multiple combatants. It won't scale up to like giant size too well, but there are rules for if you're facing a bigger group, how to have them go quickly rather than having to make dice rolls for every single opponent.
Cool. Lorcan asks, if you're playing as a Voltron team, but not the show's cast, are you a different team piloting the same lions, or do you have your own set of lions?
I would say that's up to you as a team and game master. You can determine, what kind of lions you want. We'll have the stats for the main lions in the QSR and in the rule book so that you'll be able to go off of that. But if you want to modify a little bit and tweak, I am not here to tell you you can't.
Awesome.
There you go. There's your vehicle, Voltron. just do it. Why not?
Nike and Voltron, just do it. Question from Aaron of Mechs and Men. Will the rulebook have a good breakdown of the background of Voltron for players in your group that might not be as familiar with the show?
Yeah, and that's part of what Opti was saying for the first chapter, was it's kind of your introduction to what the universe is, who the forces are, and what your role will be, so that you have some grounding and the background of what you need to be doing.
Awesome. Sorry, some of the I looked for question marks, and some of them are like more like chat interactions and asking each other questions. All right. So I think I got to the end of chat questions for Voltron. Oh, just one more popped up. Will there be a bestiary in the core books? And if so, what will those be like?
Yeah, there will be various opponents for you to face. And as you know from Voltron, some of those are human or humanoid, and some of them are less humanoid. So we'll try to get a full range of various things that you can encounter, whether they be friend or foe, in the books.
Cool.
That's fun.
I'm going to switch over while we wait for more questions to pop up in chat. So I'll come back if you want to ask more. But I'm going to switch over and let's do a Kickstarter little update here. So we just, before the stream started, hit 50,000. Cool. Congratulations. So we have 2 stretch goals unlocked now. So there's a Kickstarter exclusive desktop wallpaper that everyone will get that backs the campaign. And then there's the intro adventure. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Jason?
Yeah, I got to write one now. Yes,
Hey.
We'll have a nice intro adventure just to help you get into the whole universe and have your first adventure as Voltron. It'll be more detailed than what is in the QSR, so more steps, but it will include elements of just starting to get to know each other as a team and work together, and give you some conflicts that you'll have to resolve, and of course eventually an opportunity to form Voltron and defend the universe in some way.
Awesome. And then we've revealed the next stretch goal is at the 100K mark. We may try to get some add-ons in there sooner if we can, but we have dice bags at 100K. So can you talk a little bit about the dice sets, what those are going to be like, and then the supporting dice bags?
Sure. So what you need to play Voltron are just your basic set of polyhedrals. You might want multiples, but if you have one set, you can still get by. So you want your D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, and a D20 for when Voltron forms. Sometimes you will earn D20 so you can kick some serious butt. So we've talked with Norse Foundry to make some very cool metal dice in your Voltron colors, along with a special multicolored D20. So you'll be able to get that set. They're a lot of fun to play with. I don't have the full paint schemes, but playing with my Norse Foundry dice every time I demo it is always fun. And then you'll get dice bags that will have a nice Voltron image on it, so that you can carry your metal dice in your awesome Voltron bag.
Awesome. And they're going to have the images of the 2 different Voltrons. So
Right.
almost everything comes with a choice. I believe maybe Jason, you can expand on like the licensing definitely wants the two separate, so we can't put things side by side.
Yeah, we're not mixing peanut butter in our chocolate with this one, so we can't do a like joint thing on the dice bag or anything. So we will have Defender of the Universe and Legendary Defender, so you can pick which one you like, or if you want both, I'm not stopping you. I say that a lot. I'm not stopping people from much.
One of the cooler ideas that we had was to have both books on like a cool limited edition, where it was like on one side you had the Legendary Defender, and then if you flip the book over and read it from the other direction, then it would be Defender of the Universe. And couldn't pull it off.
Aw.
No, that
Everything has to be strictly separate.
that got shot down like a clay pigeon fairly promptly.
But we also have one of our add-ons is the enamel pins too. So there's going to be a version of a set of 6 for LD and a set of 6 for .U, right?
Right, one for each Paladin, and then one for Voltron.
Awesome.
Or one for each.
Which is
lion.
great if you're playing at a table and you have each, everybody has a pin representing that lion. That's just pretty cool. I don't know. That sounded way cooler to say in my head. No, I said it out loud. That was all I had to say about that.
But
Really
yeah,
cool,
and the
guys.
enamel pins are just, they're really very pretty looking. So whatever you put pins on, and I certainly will be putting some on my convention lanyard that's got 20 billion pins and gives me neck damage by the end of Gen Con each year. But I'll be putting more pins on it just because they're cool.
Hey, sound off in the chat about your favorite paladin and your favorite lion.
Heck yeah. Yeah, let's hear from you. One of the things that I'd like to convey here, because it's easier to say than to represent in the Kickstarter itself with text and images and stuff, is that I was kind of surprised as I went through the budget sheet for this with Lauren, is that usually Catalyst, when we sell a rule book on our web store, it comes with the PDF for free. So like that value is usually there. But he said that for this one, we're going to bundle the book and the GM screen together for the campaign, and the GM screen is free. So it didn't change the price of the book. So when you see this at retail later, you'll see the $50 book and the $20 GM screen. So you're getting the $20 GM screen for free here on this campaign. So
Nice.
Sounds like a bargain to me.
And there will be a different one again for LD or .U. So pretty exciting. Yes, Brent.
I want to know if there's going to be more stretch goals, because when we blow past the 100 grand, I want to know there's more stuff. What more can we unlock?
Let me open up my thing and tell the stuff I'm allowed to maybe reveal. I don't want to give too much away just yet, because if it doesn't happen, I don't want to make everyone sad.
Can I get Jason to fly to my house and teach me and all my friends how to play?
Well, we do have add-ons. Opti, you set up those add-ons. Can you talk about what those are?
Oh, so Jason's an add-on? I didn't see that one.
Yeah, you can buy your own Jason Hardy.
Nice.
At a convention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a store near Jason. Opti, why don't you talk about that, and I'll pull up the schematic and see what I can talk about.
Sure. The good thing about Jason and the internet existing is he doesn't need to fly to your house in order to teach you. As a matter of fact, you can sign up. One of the add-ons that you can grab is a Play with Game Dev Jason Hardy online. So sometime over the next year, you and some friends can play with Jason online. That is at the $100 level. And then we have a bunch of, like, if you want to come to Jason, Jason is not going to come to you, probably, unless you pay for the flight. But if you want to come to Jason and play with him, you can grab him at his local game shop at Games Plus, I believe.
That would be a good one. There's also other ones that I can line up if people want to be more Chicago, but Games Plus would be an excellent one to.
That's cool.
Go to.
If you're Chicago adjacent and you want to play a game. Also, if you happen to be at Gen Con or Origins or the VoltCon convention, you can grab Jason and nail him down to run you through a game of Voltron. But also, those are limited. So if you want to do that, get them before they're gone. But the less limited versions are the Voltron dice set, which are custom metal dice just for the Voltron RPG, and they represent the dice core system, which is pretty rad. And we have the enamel pin set. The dice set is $40. There was some mix-up earlier. It was my fault.
If you
but
backed,
it's not $50, but it's $40.
If you backed for the dice add-on at $50, please check your pledge, cancel that, and do the $40 one. Save yourself the $10 because you can't delete it or undo it once there's a single backer on it. But we put out a backer update to let you guys know. But if you didn't read the backer update, we're telling you now.
Yeah. But yeah, it's supposed to be $40, a much better deal, or at least a fifth better. And then there's the enamel pin set, as mentioned earlier. It's choose your version, Defender of the Universe or Legendary Defender, and it's got a pin for each Paladin or Lion, and then a Voltron pin. There is the Voltron board game, which is coming soon also from Catalyst Game Labs, or Catalyst Board Game Division. I don't have a lot of details on that one, but as we get details, we will let people know in the campaign.
We will be communicating a little bit more about that. I did pass on that we were getting requests for more information on the game. I know that we were as vague as we were because we're still pending NBC and Universal approvals. So there's only so much we can say, but I did run it up to our board game director who might be able to touch or expand. He knows the limits of what we can and cannot say, so he might be able to add more soon.
Yeah,
and this is fun though. I played an early version of it, and there's good stuff and plenty of Voltron universe baddies to fight.
I got to play it with you, and I think my favorite part, the most memorable part, is there is actually a rule that at a certain point you all have to shout in unison, "Form Voltron," and that was delightful.
And if you are familiar with Mike Ritchie and his game development, or Rather Dashing, or the Catalyst Board Game Division, you know that there's just no bad board games that he makes. And so it's a pretty good bet, even though we can't reveal any mechanical details or much detail about the game. It's going to be a great game because Mike Ritchie just simply does not do bad games. There's also, don't tell him I said that. But also we have the Legendary Defender PDF and the Defender of the Universe PDF. So if you pledge at a level that doesn't include the PDF that you want, you can grab that PDF.
Yeah, that was a request from a backer today. So they got the hardcover for, I think it was LD, which comes with the PDF, but they didn't want the hardcover for .u. They just wanted the PDF. So we added that for you guys. So.
And any of the stretch goals that are unlocked will be available to add as add-ons in the Pledge Manager after the campaign ends. And you can add any of the items that come in any of the Pledge levels as add-ons also after the campaign ends when the Pledge Manager starts up. So if you want 14 Defender of the Universes and Defender of the Universe and GM screen combos, you can do that. Or if you want 14 of the dice bags, you can do that, or whatever.
Awesome. And then for stretch goals, I'll talk about one or two here. There is a poster that will come, and it'll basically be your choice of which poster, the LD or the .u. It will be added as an add-on too, but you get your choice for free as a backer at a certain tier. And then I know this has been a question from a couple people here in chat and as well as on the Kickstarter. But at a certain point, one of the stretch goals is also for an adventure module. So no intro adventure. What does that mean, Jason?
For the adventure module?
Yeah.
Just a whole much more detailed adventure beyond just what would be in the book. So you'll get more longer campaign play.
Is that going to be like a full adventure, like a campaign book, or is it
probably not a full book, but maybe something a little longer than Shadowrun Mission?
Okay.
A non-introductory adventure.
So something that could be some multiple session play.
Awesome. Okay. And then just like we have the last one I'll reveal is that is at a certain level is a we have the dice bags. There will also be a dice tray. So get your Voltron type again to your choice of which type, but you'll have a dice tray to go with your bag and your dice.
Tyler, is that true? Tyler just posted something in our chat. And if it's, oh my God. Okay. That's an amazing request. And I hope that happens.
Now I'm nervous.
I'm
like checking my chats for crap.
What could it be?
I know.
Well, I'm not going to say anything because clearly that's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tyler's talking where you can't hear him. He can only talk to us. But okay.
Here's how this works, you guys. This is what happened in the beginning of the campaign. This is how sausage is made, and you probably won't like it. I don't know, Jason won't like me talking about it, but here's how this happened. With the campaign gets started, they say, okay, we're going to be doing Voltron for Catalyst, like, figure everything out and submit a bunch of stuff. So I went crazy suggesting all of this ridiculous stuff that we could do for stretch goals and add-ons and things like that. And I got systematically shot down on all of this really cool stuff.
It would have been really cool, no doubt.
It's just not feasible to do everything that Opti wants.
Yes, if we could figure out who could make this stuff, that would help.
So what just happened right now is Tyler, who has been working on this project with me since the very beginning, put something in our private chat, which I would absolutely love to see and would buy a million of if we could make that happen. But I did not initially go off with that suggestion, and I wish I had, because now the way this goes is, since you all don't know what stretch goals we have, we could totally, if it works out, we could totally make that and present that, and nobody would know. It would be like we planned to do it all along.
We don't reveal them all, so that we can be like, let's alter these as we get more information as we go.
I am altering the stretch goals.
I
did not alter them further.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just quoting Darth Vader. You go.
I look back at the Kickstarters we've done, and the number of times we've had really cool, totally implausible ideas in the background at the beginning of that stuff. Yeah, we always have ideas that would be spectacular. We can talk about it, over coffee at conventions and stuff. But yeah, it's a good thing some of the things on making the sausage don't get revealed too early.
Yeah.
Ooh, Voltron advent calendar. We do that.
I'm going to head back to the questions since we've only got about 5 minutes left. Redwell asks, is there an ETA on restock for BattleTech Alpha Strike Commanders Edition? Not an exact ETA. We're waiting on fulfillment to complete because QML has our inventory. So once that gets back to the warehouse, we will be back in stock. Shouldn't be long. Let's see. We've got, I asked about the bestiary. When Mad Cat asked, when will the second Star League pack be released? That is January 15th. Along with Ilkon's Eyes Only is scheduled for the 15th. What do I have here? Does the game have rules for out of your lion stuff as well as in your lion and as Voltron?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there's plenty of rules for outside your lion.
Awesome. Question from Lorcan. Are there any products planned for outside of the Kickstarter?
Not at the moment, but I'm not closing the door on anything. So if we wanted to do a bigger universe book and the line showed that we should, then that is something I'm happy to explore.
Awesome.
But
well,
right
there is
now, do the Kickstarter and fulfill it first, and then get grander ideas after.
There's an upcoming board game, though, right?
There's going to be the board game too, but that's kind of in the Kickstarter. So
Batman seconds the adventures and campaign books.
Good to know.
Thank you.
Maybe put that ahead of a universe book. We'll see.
Joel Green asks, are there going to be miniatures?
Not immediately, because I'd have to figure out what they would allow us to do, but that is something that could be possible. We are have been doing a lot of miniatures related to RPGs right now. So got some good tech processes worked up for that. So it's possible.
Awesome.
Yeah, we have been producing some cool miniatures on things, so I can see why folks are asking about that. Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Wait till you see what comes with Takedown. Coming soon.
Lorcan,
those minis are being manufactured right now.
awesome. Lorcan asks, given the need to segregate the two versions, are there many differences between the two rulebooks?
Rules wise, not a lot. No. Universe wise, a fair amount.
Awesome. We've got Black Lion votes from Opti's question. Original Keith, Legendary Defender, Black Lion. Defender of the Universe, it was Keith and the Black Lion. Legendary Defender, it's Lance with the Red Lion. Tyler played Hunk at VoltCon.
Got to admit, I can totally see why they're going black. The wings on the Black Lion are so cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and it's black, which is awesome.
I was a big fan of Sven in the early, in the older show, simply because he was weird. Like, he was one of those guys, like, his storyline didn't make a lot of sense, and like he was shuttled off despite being a kind of a cool character. So I always found him a little bit mysterious and cool. I later found out why. And I was very sad.
Shameless Warrior, the Keypin is what got Opti so excited. Also suggested a calendar. The Turbo Turtle, in terms of long lists of stretch goals, we're not doing a BattleTech Mercenaries for this campaign. There's
No, we want to keep the number of SKUs for this campaign relatively small.
Yeah.
So we can fulfill easily.
And quickly.
The Batman asks, any possibility for VTT support? Maybe that is a stretch goal down the line, maybe.
Maybe it could be.
That would be really cool. That would be really cool.
Shameless Warrior.
Those stretch goals knocked down and see what happens.
I like the echo. That's fun.
Yep, that was me. Shameless Warrior also asks about the Voltron art book, or a Voltron art book is another suggestion for down the line.
That's an interesting idea. We'd have to then just see what they have in the archives and what they'd allow us to put in an art book and all that. So that's an interesting idea that would have to be discussed with the franchise people.
I'm curious whether they want the old art, the new art, or both with the art.
Or the art that we generate, or all three. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it could be all of it. We'd have to ponder it.
Ben Baker, I see your question of for QML and UK hub, like an SLA. They've told us that they're expecting the fulfillment to take about 5 weeks, and I think they're about 2 or 3 weeks into that. So I can't remember when I started the backer update that they had started. So should take about 5 weeks, they said. All right, I think that's all the questions. And hey, look, we are at exactly 7 p.m. So gosh, guys, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for the Voltron Kickstarter. Jeez.
And what are we at now?
We are at $53,511. So we've gone up about $3,000 in this stream.
Thank you to all the 540 backers out there that are supporting this game.
Thank you
all. Everyone, just any interest that you've expressed and any support, I appreciate it a ton.
Awesome.
You guys are awesome.
Thank Opti. I thought that was Tyler for a second. Yeah, thank you, backers, so much. Thank you for following the campaign. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your engagement. We are so excited to be here with you and see what this Kickstarter can do. So keep pushing so we can keep releasing cool stretch goals, and we will keep you posted. Oh, there is also a brand new Catalyst RPG Division Facebook page. So we will also be like, we don't want to spam too much with backer updates like every time something happens, but you may get news through that first if there's like a whole bunch that happens all at once right after each other. So I will share that link with you guys for you to follow too. Boop.
And by brand new, we mean like 6 hours, 7 hours old.
Wow.
Oh, and Grom discovered this at Gamehole Con. So glad we could have seen you there and let you know about this. Thank you guys so much again, and
Had
we'll see
so
you
much
next
fun
time.
with lots of people playing Voltron at Gamehole. There was some really good games there and lots of good energy. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Thank you, Opti, Brent, and Jason, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Woo!